Well, darling, there's only one God. Darling, there's only.
Welcome to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and we got a reunion in the studio.
Hey.
Rich Auntie Wellness,
Hey.
CEO of Herbun Healing
Yes!
Clarice all in the building.
What? And we get a theme song?
What you gonna do? 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 Not the church clap.
Yeah, I had to throw it in there.
What?
You got to make your booty clap on the church beat sometimes to let them know it's real. You got to throw that extra beat in there. Pow, pow. So they know.
First off, it's been a minute. Been
so
a
many
minute.
minutes, man. So many minutes. It's been a minute since I've been here. Been a minute since we actually got to chill.
Well, because you don't be in America no more.
I mean, listen, I don't enjoy being in America.
Can we? Okay, so let's go back. So y'all know she comes with all the herbs. She goes to Africa to get it right for y'all.
Yes.
So y'all know that she ain't giving y'all no bullshit.
Nope.
She helping y'all with infertility issues, any type of things going on in your body.
We going back to the motherland for it.
Going back to the
We get
motherland.
indigenous, all of that.
So since you came here last, you went back to Africa how many times?
I think I've been back to Africa twice. So I've been back to Ghana and Togo. And then I just got back from Mexico. I think it's been 1 month.
How the hell Mexico get brought in the mix?
Mexico got brought in the mix because there's a wonderful sister down there in Merida, or actually she's in Progreso, but Sister Yaya, black woman, who was doing an herbalism retreat and was like trying to link us with indigenous Mayan healing, which, anytime we start talking Mayan, Aztec, we talking before the colonization took place, before the Spaniards pulled up. And so I wanted to get that pre-Spaniard understanding of what they down there doing, because we in Texas, proximity to our climates are very similar. Plants that grow there are very similar, and I wanted to know what resources were available. Also got certified by the Mexican government while I was down there.
Whoa!
Yeah. I'm official now. I'm like in a different way. I'm certified. I got certified in
Come
sobada.
on, next level?
Because we got to level up. We have to elevate. So, going to Ghana, getting in the mud, getting in the trenches with the herbalist over there, learning from them, going out into the villages and learning how they doing stuff. Because ain't no hospitals. Well, let me not say that. Medical care is far and few in between. And you will see a clinic right next to a herbalist shop on every block when you're in Africa. Okay. And the more deep you get into the villages, the less you start seeing clinics and the more you start seeing herbalists. So being over there with them and learning that, then adding that with the Mexico splash, because not only did I go to learn about the herbs, I went and I got certified in sobada, which is a type of massage that the Mayans use.
Oh.
And it is a healing, or I don't want no trouble with the FDA or none of the alphabet boys. It is... Listen, there is a whole list of no words, and I'm like, you're not finna catch me in these streets saying it, because I don't want no problems with any of the alphabet boys. Please don't pull up on me or my lawyer or my accountant. We are not available. But it is traditionally a Mayan womb massage that is done either prenatal or postnatal, but it's all about the pressure points of knowing how to go in and realign your body, how to move your womb back into place. Because a lot of us, we listening to this beat the box up music, and then the box get beat up and it's hanging on by a thread in the corner, and people can't figure out why. You got to put your box back in place.
Are we talking about box misalignment?
Yes, there's some box misalignment in these streets. And I understand that. Because I too have twerked and danced and shouted at the top of my lungs, I'm a beat it, all of that. I'm a beat, all of that. Let me knock it out the park. I'll knock it out.
Are we talking about broken pussy?
It's a broken pussy. A broken pussy. Hey, listen, Issa Rae gave us a bop. And I don't think people appreciated it. But in real time, there are a lot of us walking around with misaligned boxes, with misaligned bellies, with misaligned everything in our body because of the way we live, the stress we take in, the emotional aspect of it, and how that starts to physically impact you. So then when your uterus is tilted, that's what they tell you when you go to the OBG. Your uterus is tilted. Your bladder is at an angle. It's this, it's that. The Mayans, they have a whole massage technique to put all that back in place. So I had to go learn.
I know this stuff.
I had to go learn because it's not enough for me to just say, okay, girl, take these herbs. All right, my dude, here's some herbs for you to take. This will help out. I want to give holistic approaches.
Right.
I'm on my Rich Auntie Wellness season right now.
Come on, Rich Auntie.
How did the kids say it? I'm in my Rich Auntie Wellness era.
What era? What era are you in?
I'm in my Rich Auntie Wellness era. Okay, it's very lavish and luxurious and
you got to use them L words.
Okay, we are lavish and luxurious in all the ways, which means I need to offer complete, well-rounded wellness plans. It can't just be one or the other, or I mean, it can work depending on where your pocket's at. But I want to be wealthy.
Where your pocket's at?
Where my pocket's at. I want to be wealthy and I want to be healthy.
Come on.
Because our health is our wealth.
It is.
So we got to get these boxes back in alignment. I'm on a box alignment mission.
Well,
for 2023.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Okay, let's go.
They say sometimes doctors make the worst patients.
True.
So we're talking about, getting your box in alignment, treating your box right, holistic. How's 2023 been for you and your box?
It has been very dry for my box in 2023. I'm going to just keep it 1 thou wow, little bow wow. We ain't even got to try. It has been, my box is in good alignment because it has not been tampered with. It ain't had to do no cross country trips. It ain't been on no cargo trucks, ships, buses, planes. It's been sitting in the corner, minding its business, just waiting for somebody to come open it up. That's all. It's just sitting over there, nicely packaged. Tape is neat. It's just in the corner.
Nobody's touched mine either. How long has it been for you?
Since November last year. It ain't been that long.
Oh my God, it's been like September. Wait a minute, what has it been for me?
It's November last year. But I really don't want to count those box tamperings because it wasn't even it wasn't like the box got moved or shifted. It just got tapped and then put back in the corner.
So somebody has some weak ass game and it don't count because it didn't happen.
It didn't. It didn't happen. So
ain't that disappointing?
It is. And I'm trying to do right, which is why I'll be going on these retreats and leaving the country and doing all this other stuff and studying and growing these plants because I need hobbies to keep my mind off the fact that the box ain't been touched and to keep me from picking up my phone and texting those excellent package handlers that I know that they know how to handle a box, but they don't know how to handle nothing else. And I mean nothing.
But have you noticed that? Because again, it's been coming up on a minute for me. I think it was September 2021.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I shut it down. But I had a strong summer though. That summer was strong. It was foolish and reckless. My first summer in Dallas,
was it?
I was outside.
Was as Issa would say, going on her rotation? I too have had some hot girl summers, and I'm hoping that 2023 can provide me with some hot girl summers.
Do you really though?
I was just about to say, when I was in Mexico, the shaman I worked with, shout out to Don Pablo, and Don Pablo keep it so real. Like he's a shaman, but he also be with that cussing and the fussing, and like he ain't. Let me tread lightly with you, my dear. He be like, nah, let me sit down and tell you this real shit because you wasted my time and my energy if you ain't gonna go get it right. And when we were with him, he told us, one, when you're doing a sabata, you have to be mindful about like when you have penetration afterwards. So it's a time frame because you don't, if I put your box back in place and then you let the package handler go beat it up, what you just come to see me for? But he was like, just be mindful that whenever you sleep with somebody, that's you sleeping with them 7 years forward, 7 years backwards. So everybody they done been with for the last 7 years, now you letting that energy inside of your body and your womb. And I vowed in that moment that I wasn't finna let no more. My box can't be a toxic waste dump no more. I can't be out here receiving the toxic waste into my box no more. My box can no longer be the home and the shelter for brokenness, abandonment issues, financial instability, insecurities, broken daddy issues, because niggas got daddy issues too.
Why don't anybody talk about that?
I mean, I wish they would, because
y'all put that on women, and don't nobody talk about y'all.
Because they all got daddy issues and mama issues.
You got both.
And I don't want no parts
No,
I
deadass.
can't handle no parts of none of that. So my box is off limits, and I can't handle somebody who's been reckless with their peen in the last 7 years, because now you're not about to dump 100 women's energy in my coochie cat.
I feel like I've had no drama. I've had life. Again, we talk about life gone life. Okay, cool.
Life.
But it ain't been reckless life, and meaning self-inflicted life in.
Listen,
that's a totally different ball game.
We like to call chaos in and sit down. We like to invite chaos in, give chaos a key, show chaos where the snacks are at, and then be like, but chaos won't leave. But since you have made chaos comfortable.
Chaos is so comfortable.
Why would you do that if you don't want it here? So, yeah, no. I want a different version of Hot Girl Summer. I want the rich auntie wellness version of Hot Girl Summer.
Come on.
Which is a lot of retreats, a lot of spas, a lot of resorts, a lot of travel, a lot of growing and harvesting my own food and herbs at home. I want neck kisses and gentle touches. I want soft era realness. I want multiple suitors. I want dates. I claim all of these things. International travel. I like cash apps just because. I am claiming the energy that comes in to support me in all of my seasons, in all of my realness. The guy that's like, I really want to get at you, but I want to lovingly and tenderly move your package.
Oof.
Across the continent.
Oh, you speaking up a whole husband.
I'm looking for international package handlers at this point.
I think those are the best.
Because I need you and passport ready. Because the goal is to get the passport popping this summer as well. But just in case I slip and fall on the dick, I do have some herbs for that to help me get that energy up out my cootie cat, because we can't be taking that on to the next one.
How does that even go? Like when somebody gets a little reckless and slips and oops, you roll over and pop a plan B. In your case, do you roll over, get the pot, boil the water, sift through the seeds, take it to the altar? Like what does this process look like when you try to?
I do, depending on what just happened in their bedroom. Sometimes you gotta take it to the altar. But we try not to plan B as much, but because I don't want to throw off my cycle. But I got some herbs for that as well. I know what herbs to go gather from my backyard should I need to. Oopsie. But
Not
also,
you go lay down. I'm finna go out back right quick.
I'll be back.
You need an herb.
I thought your pull-out game was stronger than that, and it wasn't.
They don't be pulling out.
I apologize.
They don't be pulling out.
But that's. Yeah.
They don't be pulling out.
They don't want to, and I get it.
They don't want to.
If I were you, I want to trap me too. But I am not about the trap life. So
trapping is a thing, guys.
It is. But yeah,
Please.
I got herbs. There are different steams. Typically, I wait for the dude to leave, because and you don't want to be over the pot when he in the room and he like, what's going on? And I'm trying to cast out the demons of you and the past.
How do you tell him to leave?
Have a great day. Oh, that was magical. That was wonderful. But now, my friend, I'm gonna have to ask for you to depart from this place. I need time to restore myself after that magical experience.
Everybody gonna go around saying this. You know what? This was so good, but I just need to restore myself right now so I can be my best self.
We had a magical moment, and I just want to bask in it for a minute, and I want to restore myself and really focus on like, wow, you've shifted my atmosphere. So I need some time to just come back down to earth. I'll talk to you later.
But where does so it's going to tie into this. I was up like at midnight watching the interview with Denia Jackson, Derek Jackson's wife.
Oh, yes. I was like, no, wait a minute. I know this name. The soldier in the army of the Lord.
Oh, she was slaying when she was on that couch. When she told her story, I'm like, this is women being mishandled, but you got mishandled and essentially you got trapped. But I looked at it and I'm like, did you notice she got raped like 3 weeks before she met him?
I did not. So I have not. I've only seen the viral clips. Because I try and stay out their relationship because it was already a lot. But
it was.
I did not know, but that also, because I see the tie.
And she was being juggled. She knew he had other women. She was part of the rotation, but she's part of the rotation that got pregnant.
Oh.
And was threatening to leave. So I look at it like, because everybody ripping her apart. And of course she was off her rocker, but I'm like, y'all know we all one bad night away from being her.
Yes.
So the judgment for women making bad decisions, we all made some badass decisions.
Listen, yeah, let me. Can I
Come
I
on.
hit you
Come
and
on.
the viewers
Come
at
on.
home with a real thing? If you want to talk, let's talk bad decisions.
Yes.
We have this stigma and this shame and this whatever for making bad decisions, but a lot of us are products of bad decisions. Are products of bad decisions, which is how we end up with the issues that we have that start showing up physically in our body because we pass things down 7 generations. It takes 7 generations to break a trauma, to rebuild that nervine connection. So if your great grandmama, if your great grandmama was out here getting abused and raped, and
my great grandmother was abused, my grandmother got shot by her.
So she done trapped all that trauma up and then brewed your great grandmama in it. And your great grandmama came into the world already with this trauma on her womb and on her heart and on her mind and her guardedness. Now what happens when it shows up in us? And we live in a society that's a whole completely different image than what they were in. But now we have to walk around with this trauma. I can straight facts and throwing all the cards on the table because I'm fairly open about my life most of the times, all the time, really.
Yeah.
I had fibroids. We talked about this the last time I was here about my endometriosis, about my fibroids, all these issues from the first cycle.
Right.
What could have possibly happened in my life from year 1 to year 12 that would cause enough trauma to exist in my uterus that my very first cycle, I had endometrial tissue going everywhere and causing issues? That's not my trauma. That was trauma I was born with, and it comes from both sides of the family, but really looking at that maternal line. And I'm not going to, my mama business is my mama business, and we have really honest and open conversations about a lot of things, about her life, about my grandmother's life, about my great-grandmother's life. And I see a pattern in the women, in like the verbally abusive relationships, the physically abusive, the emotionally abusive, the financially abusive. Although my big mama kind of shut that down because sis was married 5 different times.
She said, hold on.
She shut it down because famously she left her first or her second husband because they were in a store and he told her she couldn't have something she wanted. And she left that man in the store, went back to her mama and daddy house and was like, yeah, we're divorced now because he ain't even tell me I can't buy it. And then had her daddy take her back to the store to get it.
Come on, soft life.
Soft life has been here for 3 generations in my bloodline. So I don't know. I'll be out here choosing struggle and chaos, but that is not the energy, okay? Because my big mama shut it down. Okay, she found her a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah.
Listen, she said, so y'all niggas want to tell me what I can and can't go get, and I'm not here for it. So how about I'm just gonna go on back over here. We can try this again from the top, and I'm gonna meet me a man who ain't finna tell me I can't have what I want in the store. And that's what she did. So yeah,
generations of trauma, and then when that one come in and just stop it, that's really all it takes.
So, and now I am that one that's gonna stop it, because before I birth a daughter in this world, I want to make sure she's not coming out with a womb that is carrying my trauma, my issues with men, my guardedness, my whatever. I got to put all that down. I have to make sure that she's not carrying the challenges that my mother struggled with when she was married to my father, and before him and after him in her dating life, to make sure that she doesn't carry the emotional trauma. That man, shout out Don Pablo, he looked at me and he was just like, so this started when you were 12? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, so it's not your trauma? And I was like, yeah, I kind of. He's like, no. We need to cleanse your bloodline. We need to do some specific things, because for those things to occur, and also the sexual, and I shouldn't say it this casually, but I talk about it enough that it's casual for me. I was molested when I was younger. So then when you're molested when you're 3 and 4, and then you are sexually assaulted when you're like 7, 8, my mind towards what that was, what it's supposed to look like, has completely shifted. And I've been told more than once that, like, you have an energy that says you don't want to procreate. Like, I'm telling my womb.
You kind of do. Oh my God. You really come off like, I'm just going to live my life and heal everybody else, but I'm good. You kind of, yeah.
And like in the back of my mind when I'm at home or with my friends and I'm in my like, I just want to have a family and I want kids. And I know a lot of that is my ego, because I want to see a little me.
Yeah, as you should.
Like, I feel like she would be lit. She would be lit. But besides that, I recognize now I can't get to that if I'm not doing the work.
Right.
If I'm not unpacking the things that caused me to say I don't want to be intimate, or I may not want to be a mother, or to shut my womb down. And in like the last 3 years, or no, 2 years, I found out that my right fallopian tube is blocked. I can still get pregnant, but it could be a little bit harder.
That could be a little risky.
And could be risky. And I have been doing the work to reopen that fallopian tube, because fallopian tubes do spontaneously reopen. So I know that there are some emotional issues that I have to specifically address physically, which brings me to doing the sobadas, having the teas, doing the yoni steams after I oops and fall, or just
oops and fall.
Think about it. We've all slept with somebody that we look up and we like, why would I do that? And do you want to carry that person's energy for 7 years with you?
I don't think we think about it. What we do is just call our girl and be like, girl, you ain't gonna believe what the hell I did. I had probably one of the biggest regrets I had was one here. Probably when I first moved here, I said, girl, what did you do? I went through everything to like, I just was like the next day, like, baby, that ain't sis. What's going on with you?
I'll be looking at
what's going on with you?
I'll be looking at that list, like my credit. Like, okay, when is this going to drop?
You got to pull out your history.
I slept with him in March of 2018. So that means I got 2 more years before he roll off. Got it.
You got to roll off like something on the credit. And I've done that before. Like I've sat down and like, let me look at who all I slept with. And I can see a story attached to each.
Yes.
Like this happened when the other one wasn't giving me no attention. So I really wanted to take my mind off of it. And this just appeared. This one, I was just wilding out. This one, I can think of every example emotional place, mental and emotional place I was with each body. I can tell you where I was.
Because then, like, do you look at those emotions, that emotional place you were in, and then look at the body that you were attracted to and see, like, the connection for that void they were feeling?
Yeah, I can look. I hope ain't nobody listening to this that might fall into that category, but I know they are.
We appreciate you listening.
One, from the activism world, I was definitely in a place of grief. I was in a place of grief, and they knew, and they took advantage of it. We can start there. One, work-related, like kind of showed me the ropes type deal.
Okay.
One with work, power structure. It was somebody that I would never really be attracted to, but it's what they were able to do for me professionally that would even open that door. Then there was that one friend, and it was the one dude. You know have them cats that chase you that you've known forever that chase you.
Oh, my God.
And then when you finally give them a chance, it's like the biggest disappointment. So I can look at every single one, but ultimately, all of it was like, but girl, you should have said no in each of these cases. You were not head over heels for any of these dudes. I was not.
I regret 90%.
90% for sure.
I regret 90.
90% for sure.
Like a hot 90. And I'm talking about since day one of doing the Uchi Wally Wally. I regret 90%.
What do you do, though, when folks try to spin the block and you know that you are in a space? Because, spin the block gets really creative. Sometimes they'll be gone for a long time and then out of nowhere.
It depends on who is trying to spin the block. I'll be honest. Because Amanda Seales talked about this recently. She with the dude she used to be with like 20 years ago.
Yeah, long time ago. It
was a spin the block situation. But there was growth in that spin the block. There are some people who I've engaged with in the past, or how did entangled, isn't that? It's an entanglement, ain't that how Jada said?
Yes,
there's some entanglements that if they spun the block, I'd be like, okay, different circumstances, different place. We were in a different mindset at the time. I could sit down and at least go to a lunch.
What lunch leads to?
Well,
lunch come with margaritas sometimes.
I mean, and they can come with all the margaritas. And actually, they would have to come with some crab legs and a dirty martini with gin, extra dirty.
Not you telling people exactly what to do to pull you.
Crab legs, dirty martini.
She didn't talk. But what's crazy? When you hand feed people what to do and they still fumble.
They gonna fumble. Oh, and I like popcorns. You can give me KD's popcorn,
Who?
chicken and waffles. I'm gonna show it to you before I leave because I think she's from St. Louis, and I found her on the TikTok, and it was bomb, so good, handmade. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm sick of TikTok because you know what they didn't look. I don't need to find no more food spots on TikTok. I am tired. I just found a little catfish spot, Granny's Cajun. It's on Lovers Lane.
Oh, now see.
You ain't seen that one yet?
No, I ain't seen Granny's.
They got Kool-Aid. And this Kool-Aid.
Well, you know, I live in the Trapper Dive. I live in Oak Cliff, so a lot of establishments sell Kool-Aid. In my
Wait, did you move?
I did. I did. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's how long it's been. I did move.
Because last time I went to your crib, girl, listen, y'all, I'm going to have to tell y'all how she helped me survive. So let me tell y'all real quick. When I moved here and realized that y'all don't know how to manage y'all infrastructure in the lovely, grand old state of Texas, when we didn't have power, I had to slip and slide my way to her crib to get some water.
Oh my gosh, yes.
To get some damn water. It was that bad. And that's the day I got educated and I got the talk.
Oh.
The Welcome to Dallas.
Welcome to Dallas.
The Welcome to Dallas talk.
It's a good talk to get. It is a good talk to
Let's replay. It's been a long time since we had that talk. Let's revisit, shall we?
Let's revisit this talk.
Let's revisit. Okay. So being an implant, the fuck that you already laughing. It's just some bullshit.
Listen, I'm grateful that I get the opportunity to give everybody to give Welcome to Dallas talk, because a lot of people will not say these things publicly or out loud. And I guess as a native Dallasite, it's not something that people expect for me to offer up.
I would agree.
I'm supposed to just, oh, hello, like we talked about, the debutante. I'm supposed to give you the debutante.
She told me about the debutante. Okay, so I was given 2 different speeches. You get the speech from people that are from St. Louis that have made Dallas home, so they've been here long enough to know the ins and outs, but they still who they are. And then, well, there's just the one native that'll tell you. So what I knew coming into this is that I have a very strong personality. I wasn't sure how Dallas was going to receive it because I'm a St. Louis girl. We are rough around the edges. We cool. We turn up. But on the flip side, we with the shits and we don't like fake shit.
Woo. Woo.
Let me pause.
Woo.
So I was told, like, hey, your personality is a little big. You know, they might not, you know, you ain't from here. Folks might try to figure you out. But but hold on, but people receive me quick because I'm very supportive. Like, I'm bubbly. I want to come to things. I want to support. I love Black people moving and shaking. But the flip side of that is you got to figure out what you're supporting and how these people move. I don't think about these things until later. I get very excited.
As you should. Opportunities abounding. Great things, great conversations. It all sounds so lovely, right? Until
you realize that sometimes it's one-sided. And for me, someone that especially was early on building her platform, I wasn't doing it as a transactional thing, but I'm just like, Black folks loving on each other. They support each other. They doing this. Y'all got this going. I'm going to show up to this. And I learned that when it came time for Dirty Bag, maybe give Dirty Bag a little love. It was just like crickets. And what the lovely Clarice told me.
Yeah. I just was keeping it real.
Clarice was like, look, and they probably might not fuck with you, but let it look like you doing something.
Yo, this is 2 years ago that we had this conversation.
This was at her crib during Snowmageddon. So we're talking February 2021.
Yeah.
I hadn't even came outside yet. I was with my little laptop. I hadn't really met anybody yet. I was new.
But you had been in these streets, and I was like, oh, man,
I was at farmers market.
Well, you were going to farmers markets.
That was my spot.
You were connecting. You were finding out about other events and other places. You were networking.
I was trying to learn my environment. Like, I'm here now, so let me learn my environment. But when you first said that, like, you know, folks might, you know, they gonna ignore you, but if you get to doing something, they gonna be like, hey, sis, hey, friend, and I mean, the fact that it took this long, though. First of all, shout out to Pinky Cole. Pinky, if you just want to, if there's anything else, I mean, American Sesh, the rollout video for the Black Pinky's team. First of all, because y'all be this fanfare about Pinky Cole, y'all forget she got a whole team. The team is where it's at.
Because that is, listen, the team is what Pinky would be Pinky, but she would not be the Pinky if she did not have the solid team. And that's a credit to her for bringing the right people around her.
Her team is fucking solid. But I noticed that, you know, because Atlanta, shout out to Atlanta. I don't know, Atlanta showing me all this love. Atlanta's like my top 4 cities, streaming cities. Just crazy. But Atlanta shows me love.
Atlanta love you.
And I went to American Sesh. Thank God I got selected for that. It was an absolute blessing. 14 creatives, 5 celebrities. When that little photo, 4th grade photo dropped, I noticed the eyes came in a little bit. You know, then when, you know, so what I learned real quick is that Clarice was right. Y'all don't fuck with folks sometimes unless they're doing something that you deem to be, or the person that it looks like they're connected to is a big deal. Let me look into this camera real quick. Hey, Dirty Bag done had 2 events. Not 1, but 2.
2
within a 6-month time frame. I was so excited about it. I'm like, all right, and these people have such great energy, yada, yada, yada. I'm like DMing folks like, hey, you know, I'm celebrating my first magazine feature. I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary. And, you know, I get it. Life happens. But folks don't show up there and don't say nothing and just lurk my stories. I'm not good with that, especially when we do a complete 180 and I'm cis. And all of this, when these things start happening.
You didn't know you had a whole village of sisters and
I
brothers?
said, where I get these friends from?
They pop up.
Where I get these, I'm being tagged. I'm like, listen, y'all, I don't know how, I don't understand. I'm not comfortable with performative energy. Well, I'm not comfortable with it because that's just not where I come from. Where I come from, if we rock with you, we rock with you and we support you. And if we don't, we don't. I don't care if Beyonce shouts you out. If I don't rock with you, I ain't rocking and I ain't pretending. So it's very weird for me to experience that because now you telling me who you are. And once you showed me kind of.
But see, that's why I told you, because I wanted you to be able to identify who these people were when they started coming around, because the way they will come around is going to make you go like, damn, yeah, the love is real.
I didn't feel that.
Let's get to work. And then when they
didn't feel it.
And then because you knew. Like,
I immediately thought about you like, damn, cuz.
You ain't said nothing to me in 2 years other than, hey.
When I came to your events or when I shared XYZ.
Quick, because you get the debutante and beau cotillion energy in Dallas.
Explain that to people that don't understand.
All right, so listen, not everywhere in Dallas, but particularly in circles in Dallas, city of Dallas, Dallas County, where there's a respectability politics mode for Black people. Most of them, and I will say us because to some extent I am in that circle by birthright, we have been shown since we were children how to show up as, hello, how are you? It's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow, amazing. You give cookie cutter performances the same way that I learned how to waltz, the same way I had to go to etiquette classes, that I had to, and before y'all start on me, I'm aware that this sounds elitist and privileged. You got to take that up with my mama and my daddy, all right? I'm working and actively work on my classism every day. I'm aware. But let me just start it there, okay? I did grow up very Cosby-esque, and I don't make no apologies for it. I just understand what it was and what it is. But because of that, I just want to put that disclaimer out there, because I know the people be like, well, everybody ain't got money to go to etiquette class. You're right. Everybody ain't got money to go to etiquette classes. But my mom and daddy did, and so we went and we did these things. And I grew up around those people who did that. And those people happen to be some of the movers and shakers, a lot of the movers and shakers in this city. So I know how we were all raised. I know that mentality. It's all about performance, being performative. Mm-hmm. I can dislike you thoroughly, but if I believe that you have something that's going to help me accomplish a greater purpose, I'm finna come in soft shoeing and shuffling like the Sandman on Apollo. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You're so great. I cannot wait to work with you. It's gonna give Oprah giving away car excitement. It's going to give Princess Diana regalness and royalty. It's going to be dripping with every sweet word and like praise that they could offer. It's going to be very Sunday morning Baptist church energy. It is going to give white gloves, big fancy dresses. It's a performance. It's a let me come out and dance with you and waltz with you and sway with you and make you believe that I care. When really I don't care nothing about you. I don't care nothing about what you're doing. All I care about is accomplishing my goal. That's the energy that a lot of people in Black Dallas move around with. Because I know so many, I know a lot of folks. And a lot of folks know me, and I don't be knowing these people. But apparently a lot of people know me. And apparently they know me from the politics.
I was going to say, you've been politically, I mean, you've been in the trenches.
I've been in the trenches, but a lot of my work has not been in the city. And that's also for a reason, because I don't play the respectability politics. I don't mold myself into something I'm not. I'm absolutely the person who was out here butt naked gardening on my website while also being a city planning commissioner. So, you know, the parallels. I don't play if I had kept my clothes on and, you know, just kept maybe going in and making alliances and allegiances with developers and this, that, and the third, I would probably be working for some real estate firm right now or a law firm making upwards of $300,000, $400K a year, because that's just the trajectory that I had been placed in. But I don't want to play them games, and they know I don't play them games. And part of what saves me, a big part of what saves me, is because I am authentic, because I am real, and these people know that I'm going to say the same thing in public that I'm going to say behind their back, because I'm not going to say it behind your back, I'm going to say it to you. They also know that I care about my community and my people.
Okay. I'm going to say, so how does life, because we both come from some similar places.
Yes.
So how does it feel? Do you ever sit back and be like, this is not what my life was 3, 4, 5 years ago? Like, because I'm like that all the time. Like, people expect you to be a certain way. How does it feel for you knowing that you are on a totally different path, complete 180 from how you were moving, let's say 5
we can say
years
5
ago?
because this is when we met.
That was about,
ago.
Damn, that was 5 years.
It was in August of 2018. I will never forget August 7th, 2018, the day that we told bye McCullough bye.
Yeah.
And got Wesley Bell elected, helped unseat a 32-year incumbent in St. Louis and DA. And that was one of the campaigns I worked on at the time with the organization, and that brought me to St. Louis. Yeah, you caught that, right? That brought me to St. Louis. I can't play with
Hold
cookie,
up, let me do this. Hold up. Since
cookie,
that
y'all.
episode, let me tell you what happened after the episode. So y'all know I always tell y'all that the best conversations on this podcast happen when we stop recording. We either talk about business, we share, we exchange information, and I had no idea how connected Clarice and I. The funny thing is, she still don't know.
Oh, it's okay.
Completely how connected we are. I was not prepared.
Are we Eskimo sisters?
For the.
I can't. Because if so, you probably my most favorite Eskimo sister ever. Because I got other Eskimo sisters, and they be trying to act like we not Eskimo sisters, but since I know we is. But yes, with that tribe, of that village,
wait, because you was talking and I was like this.
I know. Well, listen. I mean, it happens.
No, but for me, it was more like, damn. Well, it was just like, well, that's another one.
Listen,
I had no idea that we had the commonality we had, but what it did for me. It showed me how much all of us had gone through. And let's talk about bad decisions. And it ties into this whole conversation about making bad decisions and how you can connect a body to a time frame in your life.
I have steamed.
Let me tell y'all how my story views changed. Look, the way my story views changed when that episode dropped on my IG.
Oh, wow.
I said, not you two.
I'm trying to steam it away. I'm trying to put one in the air. Listen, I did travel several states. Like I did.
But you look at where your life was.
My life was completely different.
That was a very important part of my life. It changed.
It
the
changed
trajectory.
Absolutely.
Emotionally, mentally, all of that shit.
It was transformational for me. That work with that organization propelled me to go work on a presidential campaign, and then it propelled me to work on a Biden campaign. It opened up doors of connection. The work I did in St. Louis, I'm still cool enough. I feel, at least, y'all let me know if I'm not. I don't want no problems. I feel like I can still pull up in Ferguson and be on the block. And it would be straight up because I made real connections with people in those moments, in those times. I did that everywhere I go and everywhere I work. So now I have a network across the country. I can pull up in San Diego. I can pull up in St. Louis. I can pull up in Florida. I can pull up in Cali and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little harder for me to do the work here. And that time also showed me, like, okay, it ain't nothing like being in Dallas politics your whole life and being in the city and then going to St. Louis and then seeing how the activists are rocking there.
Dallas is y'all cute though.
It's real. It's debutante cute, baby.
It's very debut. I mean, listen, y'all don't come from me because I know I'm not from here.
I said it was come for me.
I was shocked to see how conservative people are here because I don't come from a conservative space at all. I come from people that when it's time to work, ain't nobody got no makeup on, ain't no ring lights, there's no backdrops, there's nothing beautiful about the work you do. You could lose your freedom. You could be put in harm's way. It's gonna cost you some real shit, and then you ain't gonna be smiling. Only time you smiling is because y'all are all breaking bread together and taking a break from the trauma, but there is nothing glamorous about it. So for me, only knowing work from St. Louis, this is very different.
It's certainly that time in St. Louis, and I don't even know. I think I went to 10 different cities over like an 8-month period doing electoral work. In black communities with black people, like blackity black, brunches, barbecues, block parties.
Yeah.
Black. And every city I would go to, especially in St. Louis, because I think I spent the bulk of my time, it was like 3 or 4 months of time there, like coming back and forth. I started to realize like, oh, so you can buck the system. You can be this way. You can move in a certain way. Like this is one of the first times I met Cori Bush, because she was running at the time, and I can't remember the other sister's name that ran, and she lost her election to
shit.
You know the one who was attached to old boy, the battle rapper. Sorry. Okay, but anyway, that
bitch.
I'm sorry. So yeah, that I got to meet a lot of people who were running campaigns and doing political things in a way that did not fall under the debutante lens that I had been raised under. I'm just gonna keep talking so she don't get me on that one. I could not remember his name, and I'm okay. And I feel like I just accidentally spilled tea on the reel, and I didn't mean to. I thought it was public knowledge, but
it is public knowledge. But nobody talk about it.
Oh, sorry, my bad. So anyway. I just realized I could move with a different energy. And then it made it so hard for me to come back to Dallas and try and do work here because it is
You radicalized.
I'm radicalized.
You like really radicalized.
And this is the template that Dallas follows. And I'm coming in like, tear the template up, throw paint on it. We coloring outside the lines. And everybody's like, she's crazy. We're going to get her committed, or we need to do this, or we need to do that. Fall back in line. We don't do it like that here. And so all of my work has not been here. And then a lot of that is why I leave all the time, because I don't like the fakeness and the phoniness of it. I try and force myself to go to certain events, and I can't.
You do not be going there. I said,
go nowhere.
If staying out the way, and it's so weird for me being here in such a short time to see somebody that I know that's been very active and very influential, to see you not be in these Dallas streets like that.
For what? For why? For what? To do what? With who? I know the people that, so it's my 20, nope, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to get in trouble with my classmates. Shout out to 2003 Townview, class of 03. A lot of successful people doing great things here in the city and beyond. I'm just going to leave that alone. I know folks for real, and they know me for real. So then when we show up to something and I'm meeting what's the comedian that says you meet their representative? Can't remember if it's Chris Rock or Dave. Somebody said that. You when you're dating somebody, you meet their representative. So when I go out, and I have been at the party, watched you roll up, and then we out in public, and I'm meeting your representative, and you looking at me crazy because maybe I came in smelling like a pound. I don't care. My mama and daddy been knowing what I do. I mind my business. I don't be out in these streets. I be at home. Okay, I be at home. And I don't do anything that would give me a misdemeanor charge for having 4 ounces or less in my vehicle. I don't do that. I'm rich auntie. So before y'all start trying to pull me over, no, it ain't nothing in the car.
But you just stay out the way.
I stay out. I don't want to go out. I'm not impressed because it is an Instagram reel, a TikTok video gone live. That is what these events are in my mind now. That's what a lot of these church services are in my mind now. It is Instagram pretty, TikTok reels. Let me give you the quick highlights. Nobody wants to come and be real. And also, I've sat in so many of these meetings, these boardrooms, these whatever, having the conversation for years with no solution. And I'm a solutionary.
Solutionary.
And that is a woman gave a TED talk back around 2017, 2018, and she said the world needs less visionaries. We need more solutionaries. And so I have transitioned.
Ooh.
In that time, I transitioned it might be somewhere between 2017 and 2019. I don't remember the woman, but it was a TED talk, solutionaries. And since then, I have tried to go into every situation from a solution first perspective.
Right.
And so I can't sit in a room for 2 hours and listen to people complain and not even address the root issue. And then when I address the root issue, I get put out. It's also why I'm not that popular in D.C. I do work there sometimes, and I've done work in D.C., but I could care.
Popular's overrated, though. Popular comes with some... What comes with popularity typically really ain't worth it.
I've never thought that I was popular, and I remember a few years back on Facebook, they do the little things all the time, and they're like, "Were you popular in high school? Yes or no?" And I was like, "No." Come to find out, apparently I was extremely popular. Didn't nobody tell me when y'all was teasing me and calling me fat, when y'all was tricking me and making me think that boys had crushes on me and they didn't, and then I would pull up and they would be like, "Get out of my face," or when
these little motherfuckers.
So yeah, I didn't know I was popular because I've heard, back when you could be three-way on the phone, I've heard the conversations. I've heard the way they spoke about me. I saw those things. So then in my mind, how am I popular?
But you're successful. Folks see you got that juice. But this is what you told me, though. Which I ain't even got no juice. All I got is a droplet. I don't have juice. I have a droplet.
I don't have any
I got
juice.
Backwash.
People swear.
I got backwash.
You're not backwash, ma'am. You'd have more than backwash. She has a whole cup of freshly squeezed oranges from Valencia.
I have backwash.
Don't let her lie to
some of y'all started being nice when I got a little backwash.
Listen,
I said, damn.
She not sharing her juice, but she is the juice. First off, let me just stop and pause because that's the other thing. You are the juice the same way that I am the juice. The problem is, what Lizzo say, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Y'all don't think it's worth the squeeze until you think it's worth the squeeze. So just had somebody slide in my text messages last night, almost 10 o'clock at night. "Hey, I see your TikToks. I really like what you're doing." Okay, awesome.
The setup, just the foot in the door.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still gonna answer. I'm still gonna respond because I'm about healing. I'm about helping. I'm about solutions. So I'm still do it, but I'm gonna make a mental note. The people who all of a sudden are popping up on my social media with fanfare when you ain't said nothing and ain't supported since. I remember the people who were supporting me when I was driving around in the Grand Marquis with a lawnmower in the trunk trying to cut grass.
First of all, shout out to Grand Marquis because I love big ass car. I had a Cadillac, I had a Chrysler Concorde, and then Lincolns. I had a slew of Lincolns, so I love those cars. So
it's really difficult to learn how to navigate.
Yeah.
Because one minute you think you don't have any friends in the world, the next minute you have all the friends in the world, and then the minute after that you realize who your friends are. And there are even people who have been in very close proximity to my inner circle that I've had to be let me just start to slow back.
How do you not? Because I'm there right now. I'm sorry, I am. I'm really sensitive. The thing about getting older, when that big old age hits, you get so sensitive to energy.
Yes.
And my biggest prayer, I think this was a week and a half ago, I was like, God, I feel like I'm going, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the destination is, but please, anybody that does not have my best interests at heart, I need you to reveal them and remove them. And I ended up, some of the wildest shit started happening. Right when I got chose for the sesh, it felt like my world low-key started falling apart. Because drama was coming out of nowhere. And it didn't make sense because my head was down. So I wasn't actively engaged in any foolery. The foolery was coming on my doorstep. So I'm like, you been mad at me this whole time? I didn't know. You popping up because your man was texting me from when I was in Ferguson. It was just all kinds of weird shit happening. And then I found out I got a little stalker here in Dallas. But single black female is a thing. So all these weird things started happening. Even people now, I started getting weird vibes. So I'm like, how do you back away without offending? I know that your energy is something, you don't have great motives. You and I haven't had a fallout, but your motives are not pure, and I can feel it.
So
I don't want to entertain this.
So that's where you said the perfect word. You said, how do I pull away without offending? I no longer care about offending.
And I kind of don't care about offending, but I'm
either going to offend them or I'm going to offend me. And what I will no longer do is offend myself in the name of keeping up appearances, being debutante Clarice. Debutante Clarice happened when I was 17. I'm 37. It's been 20 years of growth and 20 years of change. I can still turn it on, and I still know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not rough and stuff with my afro puffs. I'm not rugged. I grew up hood adjacent. I already told y'all I was going to etiquette classes, so I know who I am. But I'm also not going to, some of this is just my innate southernness, but a lot of it is because of the things that happened to me as a child, I taught myself that I needed to be of service to everyone, to go out of my way not to upset and offend anyone if I wanted to be accepted. If I was not doing for them, if I was not acquiescing, if I was not contorting myself in ways that were satisfactory to everyone else, then I was not going to be loved. I would not be received or accepted. And I learned that internally in my family. So doing that work, now how am I supposed to go out and interact with people? I had 20-something years of that being me. But part of the herbalism, part of the meditation, part of the alignment work, part of the sobada, because I'm keeping energy trapped up in my belly, didn't even know how much anger I was still holding on to till I got my good belly massage, and the only quadrant that hurt was the quadrant that stores anger. And then once he got to pushing it, all these thoughts and everything started flooding up. But before I could even get to that point, the offending part, I cut off 2 people who were extremely close to me, blood close, a few months ago, because I realized this relationship does not serve me. I have been like, this is nothing but trauma and hurt and pain and negative energy and negative things. And if I can't come to you as my blood and share my good moments, then I probably don't need to be around you. And that was hard because I was raised very much, we all we got.
But are we though?
But we're not.
That was a lie.
And we're not, because I have besties who, listen, the people, them people in my core, they the ones who have a whole group chat about me to make sure that they check in on me. And it's very strategic how they do it. Like, I can tell, like, nobody wants to ask me something directly, but like four or five, it's like 4 people in the group chat. They'll each like check in on me. And then I'm like, y'all got to have a group chat, because the next person is building off of the other thing.
Right.
But those are the people that I know I can go to, and I can be my realness on all sides. Those are the people that I'm having conversations about ascension and growth and challenging ourselves to be bigger and better. Those are the people that when I tell them I want a luxury rich auntie wellness brand that is Martha's Vineyards, that's Seychelles, that's Mauritius, that is out here doing global campaigns, that is in Neiman's and Bergdorf's, they like, yes sis, so what we need to do to get there?
Solution-based relationships, intentional friendships.
Intentional. I am in my other era of divine feminine, which means being open to receive. I didn't realize how closed off and guarded I was, because I'm always giving, but never receiving. Never even allowing myself to be in relationships where I can receive. So package handlers, that's also like, if I can't be in a receptive relationship with you, which means being open to receive everything that you have to offer, I can't be in relationship with you. Friendship, business, intimacy, whatever, cannot. That doesn't mean that I'm out here just trying to lay back and let people take care of me, although I am. I'm still giving. But if there is no reciprocity, if there is nothing that I can achieve or accomplish from being in that relationship, then I can't be in it anymore. I have to be open to receive. Which means I have to cut off people who are siphoning my energy, who don't do anything but take, and I'm constantly giving. And it's not always money. A lot of times it's just energy and time and space.
Energy's expensive, and we don't talk enough about that. That's so funny. I didn't even know we was going to have this conversation today as I'm driving here. And I have conversations with myself, and I'm like, yo, a lot of times we get done wrong by folks because we never set boundaries. And it was clear that we never got fed by these people, but we didn't have boundaries. And the thing about people like that, I learned a lot of my biggest disappointments, and you can probably relate, came from folks that I've done the most for. That I've given the most energy to. They don't, the minute you are not available or you put boundaries or you are living your own life, people get offended when they don't have this unlimited access to you. People want to be a main character in your world at the expense of you putting yourself. People want to be the main character in your life.
This is the Clarice story, but I died. Like, I'm the main character. I cannot. There can be side characters. There can be recurring roles. What do they call it when you're featured? Like, you're not even in the show.
But it was a recurring role. I thought that's what it was called.
You're not one of the principal cast members in my life.
Right.
So you got to play your role. You might not even be a recurring role. That person may be a background role. You may be props today. You may be craft services tomorrow. But people also don't understand like where they fit in your life. And there are a lot of people, I learned this a long time ago. There was somebody who swore up and down I was their best friend. And I was like, but I don't feel the same way. And then it made me realize like, oh, okay, well, I may be their best friend, but they don't have to be my best friend. So I don't have to shift where I have them placed at in my life because of how they feel about me. I'm going to continue to move. End of story. Because you're not my best friend. That person was not my best friend.
You can analyze what your relationship is. What is it about me that makes me your best?
That's it. And then, because then I'm like, well, then dang, if I'm your best, we need to talk about like who you around. Because honey, like I'm awesome. But also there should be somebody else that.
This is like basic level shit.
All of my people, we're moving, we're grinding. I challenged everybody in my inner circle a week ago. TikTok, again, these TikTok streets, they be teaching me so much, educating me about a lot of life. And a woman was talking about the hardest question she ever heard. And let me make sure I get it right. The question was, what would your life look like if you lived a life uninterrupted?
Ooh.
And part of her asking that question, she said she was somewhere and someone posed that question to the audience. And it wasn't just about being asked the question. It was her conversation was about what type of questions are you asking yourself? What type of questions are you asking the people around you? And how are those questions helping you grow? And so when she posed that, I was like, these are the types of questions that I need to be asking myself in this season. And if I need to be asking myself these questions, then my people need to be asking themselves these questions.
Yeah.
What does my life look like uninterrupted? And it's okay if I don't have an answer right then. But now what has happened is I've spent the last week and a half, 2 weeks going, what does your life look like uninterrupted, Clarice? There are things that are going on in my life that people don't know. My father was told last February that he was in the end stages of heart failure.
Oh.
So my life has been completely shifted. And it's been a different energy. And when I say people don't, like, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. When part of the not coming out was he had some rough months when I came back from Ghana in December. So like from December to, I don't know, March of this year, really, he was going through a lot, which meant I was going through a lot. But that was also where I had to learn my boundaries. Had to start assessing like who's in my life, who isn't in my life, who's in my corner, who's not in my corner. What does my life look like uninterrupted? And not to say that my father's illness is an interruption, but it is.
But I was going to say, can we go ahead and just have an honest conversation about
But it is. But he
family and health?
He my daddy.
Right.
He the onlyest one I got, and I'm going to stick beside him. Same way I would do for my mother, the same way I would do for my brothers. But there's boundaries to it.
Yes.
Because I can't be so far into the caretaker role that now I'm neglecting myself, which is what was happening. And then that allows opportunity for energies and people and situations to pour in that are going to feed off of that energy, take whatever else I have and pull it away from me, and then also pour in more of their negativity. Again, my box is no longer the dumping ground for toxic energy. I give myself grace daily for the people that I have allowed to penetrate my inner courts with their energy. And I don't just mean sexually, I mean all the ways.
Right.
Because I be holding a lot for a lot of people, and I'm not doing it no more.
How do you clean that? How do you? Yeah.
We clean that with the herbs. We clean that
Come
with
on,
the
back to the
sobadas.
herbs.
Listen, we clean that with the meditation work. We clean that with the self-care. We clean that with the retreats. We clean that with the intentionality. And then we clean that by asking ourselves the tough questions like, what does my life look like uninterrupted? And for me, that life looks like somebody who travels, somebody who eats good, because I love eating good.
Lord, food.
Somebody who is intentional about her wellness and her wellness journey and giving myself that time. My dad taught me when I started working and I got paid, he was like, when you get your check, first thing you do, take 10%, that's yours. Before we even started talking about paying bills, before we started budgeting, he told me off top, you take your 10%, that's yours. So that's how I look at my days now. Before I'm doing anything for anybody, going anywhere, I'm taking my 10%.
Okay. A word.
I'm pouring into myself.
Okay.
I'm going to do what Clarice needs done for Clarice without the thought of how is this going to impact or upset or nope. Clarice don't do what Clarice need to do. Rich Auntie gonna do what Rich Auntie needs to do. If that means sitting on TikTok and scrolling for 15 minutes mindlessly, okay. If that means getting up and going to get my tea and sitting out in the garden, okay. If that means journaling, dream journaling. If that means just sitting on the toilet and really just, that means cutting on my Yahoo Actualize affirmation playlist. I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Washing my face. I am a sanctuary, and I make sure that I tend to my temple and my sanctuary daily, and I honor me. I'm going to do that by any means necessary so that I can show up. Because the other thing about doing the massages, I can't be touching on everybody's womb, and my energy isn't right.
That's a word in itself, honestly.
I'm very particular about who does my hair because I don't want everybody's hands in my head. This is my crown. This is my energy. This is my connection to my spirit guides. So you can't just be up here. Can't let you do it. I'm very much more particular now about who I let in my sacral chakra and my root chakra because you can't just be coming through there either. That's my connection to my ancestors, to my connectedness to myself. So I can't do that. So then when I'm doing that work, now I'm engaging that energy on somebody else. So now I have to have ways to cleanse myself, to restore myself, or else I'm just going to be picking up everybody's hurt, trauma, pain, frustration, sadness, sorrow will all be just falling on me. So I have to have those practices. There are certain herbs that I will drink before I'm going to do things, certain clothes that I will wear, certain crystals that I'll keep around. I am that hippy dippy chick. There are certain scriptures that I will read because I still love the Lord. Mm-hmm. So there are certain scriptures that I will read. There's a lot that goes into it, but that's how we do it. We have to be moving of the energy. The Silas, I Ain't Stressing a Day video. Like everybody do,
Yeah, he was serious. He's not playing. A year later, he is still pushing that song and making sure that message is well received.
What he just did, though, was unintentionally help millions of people move stagnant energy in their body. And most people, when they're listening to that song and doing a dance, they don't even understand the importance of the movement that they're doing. Mm-hmm. Because that is how you release tension from the body. That shake up and down, that is specifically how you move tension from the body.
Right.
So when you're doing the I Ain't Stressing a Day and you're giving the mantra, he's helping us get that tension up out of our bodies.
You're speaking life over yourself.
So that's all I want to do. Speak a little life, help move some people's energy, and it's a part of that I will talk about just real quick because I want to make sure I say it. One of the sobadas that I learned about was hip closure. And
hip closure?
Hip closures, which a lot of people get postpartum because after you have given birth and been pregnant, your hips have spread.
Yeah.
And
finally got some.
If you, for me and for a lot of people, we understand the connection between spirit, physical, emotional, and mental. If I am leaving my hips open, that is the pathway through my root and my sacral chakra. I'm leaving myself open. I'm going to make it harder for my body to physically, or not make it harder. It may take longer for my body to heal. I may be leaving myself open and vulnerable to a box misalignment or energy coming in and finding residence because I haven't closed out the cycle. And there's an aspect to that which comes with a lot of shame for people when folks have a miscarriage or they have an abortion. You've still been pregnant.
Yeah.
Your body has still gone through the process. You're still open. So we still need to close those hips. We still need to bring it all in. We still need to help get you back in alignment because your body has now gone into the alignment of pregnancy. And if you're not intentional about doing the work of bringing it back in alignment, we leave ourselves open for so much.
Man, are you going to start blogging about this? Because nobody talks about that. Number one, we definitely talk about my body, my choice, but nobody talks about what happens after you make certain choices. So I feel like
I'm receiving.
There's a conversation there because it's definitely not being had.
I am still trying to figure out what my path is.
Okay.
Because the first time I came here, it was on the herbs, and
we were strong herbs, but now you didn't.
I've shifted because, and this is like after putting a whole miniature farm in my backyard, the backyard. I got a whole mini farm growing herbs, and then in the middle of that process, being like, I really want to do more than just sell tea. I want to do more than just tell people what they should do or how they should do it. I want to help, and how can I be of greater service? I love gardening. I love herbalism. I love spirituality. I love myself. I love wellness. And there's so many different aspects to it. So what does that holistic approach look like? I guess I'm open to blogging. My trauma about writing.
Okay, so maybe not. Okay, I'm just saying the conversation. How do we open the conversation about that? Because there's so many women that have had abortions, but were left without aftercare because they didn't know they needed any.
Come on, the aftercare. We all need aftercare. You need aftercare, even if you were just 6 weeks pregnant, you need aftercare.
Yeah,
there is aftercare, and that aftercare doesn't always have to be Tylenol. It's not always just Tylenol and aspirin and like
oversized pads
and rest. Sometimes that aftercare looks like grieving, holding a funeral. Even if it's just for you and yourself in your home. Some of that aftercare looks like going to get an intentional massage to help bring balance to your womb. Some of that looks like going to do Reiki if you believe in alignment of chakras. There's aftercare, but some of that could just be going to have a good key, waiting to exhale, sleep over with your good Judies.
Amen.
It's a different vibe, but okay.
I need good Judies, but no, we gonna. So what I know is that conversation has to open.
Mic, Lord, and stab myself in the eye.
What the fuck? Not you dying. Get somebody else to do it. What
Please.
The hell?
Well, it's all right. I was doing a lot. My eye was itching.
See, the devil trying to come up in this session. You mad because we done told the truth.
Well, and that's what I'm
Too much truth and came out today.
I'm always going to tell the truth.
Spirit of trifling tried to come in this room because it's mad.
Oh, no, not the spirit of trifling.
Spirit of trifling tried to come in the room because it's mad.
We rebuke you, spirits.
Rebuked.
Listen, I call on my most evolved and elevated ancestors
for
protection at all times.
It's giving Power Rangers.
Because I am not in this room alone. Never. Never alone. Never. But yeah. So we gonna keep the conversation going on this. So first of all, tell them again. We always got to remind people where to find you. Oh
no.
Okay. Get your products at www.Herbun Healing, and that is HERBUN healing.com. Then you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at herbunhealing.com. And if you really want to be an insider and get the first look, you can start Googling and or searching for Rich Auntie Wellness on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, because I'm starting to rebrand and realign. And Herbun Healing will slowly phase out, and we will move strictly into Rich Auntie Wellness, so I can be intentional about the community that I'm trying to serve.
Well, come on in.
Black women, brown women, period. But we're going to start with our black and brown women who have heaps of generational trauma in the womb, who need assistance with fertility, who need assistance with spiritual support in overcoming traumas. We're going to start doing retreats that are focused on that outside of the country. And I'm down. Oh, YouTube.
Yeah.
I forgot I was on YouTube. I just started dropping some stuff on YouTube. I think that might be my new YouTube, and TikTok might be my new
Come
places.
on now.
And I'm your favorite herbalist auntie, always.
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 So I got to thank you for coming in here today.
Thank you.
Wasn't expecting this much truth.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
Thank you, Cookie. Oh, and shout out. I'm going to do this right now while we on the air still. Shout out to Cookie. Because she got every reason to stab me, cut me, and get my tires slit. Because I be playing. And sometimes I be playing. And I be going through ish and I don't be telling nobody about it, so they don't know what to expect. Like, but I be playing. And Cookie, I almost fumbled the bag twice. I almost ran off on the plug twice, y'all. I don't listen. I was having a whole moment in the bathroom, like, I've got to show up today.
She dropped off a village. And I'm like, where you at?
Because that chlorophyll, but we'll talk about that on
It was that
time.
damn 112 intro. Boom, doom, 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 doom.
Ah! Yes, okay, all of that. I can do yeah. But Cookie being Cookie and will always still give love, show up for the people. Thank you for getting me one of my first. Well, now actually my first as Urban Healing. The other stuff I've done has always been about everything else. But thank you for getting my first magazine publication as Urban Healing. I appreciate it. I believe it's going to be dropping soon, so I'll let y'all know about that. But
I wasn't going to say nothing. I was just going to wait.
Listen, okay, because I'm still learning how to navigate all them sides of it. I do this all day for candidates, but for myself, no. So I just have to give you your flowers.
I'm going to do what it do.
Listen, Cookie is the truth. And that's also why I keep it 100 with Cookie. I don't talk like this with everybody. So if you pull up on me in the streets and you think you're finna get this level of detail, you might not. But it's this because I know who Cookie is and she can handle it and she needed to hear it. So y'all should be grateful that you getting this.
I mean, y'all low-key got it too.
Woo.
Everybody got some truth today, didn't we?
We're going to keep serving it.
Whew. I said, I can't wait to revisit this conversation. She was right.
Oh.
I was hoping she was wrong.
No.
But, that's just kind of how it is when we keeping it real. So.
Wait, and I can't. As soon as this is over, we talking. Because I got to know. Because now
all right, we go.
Yeah, because. Well, no.
When these cameras stop, a conversation going to happen. Jesus.
And only because what you said to me about what the expectation was after my interaction with that person or while I was there, what the expectation was, that has stuck with me. And I was like, dang, girl, you really did miss it.
Yeah.
He thought you was going to come take care of the kids.
Yeah, see. Hey, y'all, I got to thank Clarice for coming to speak with us today.
Thank you, Cookie.
Whatever we in right now, look out for each other. Be your best self. Be your best authentic self because that fake performative stuff, we don't need it.
No.
We need more love. We need more honesty out here in these streets. And that's just what it is. So wherever applicable, wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. And when you get a free moment, please remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Well, darling, there's only one God.